I'm going to explain how the Metro fare system works and answer some of your questions about Metro. Hello, welcome to Trip Hacks DC. My name is Rob. I'm a tour guide here in the nation's capital. If you're coming to Washington, D.C. and looking for the best tips, tricks, and hacks for exploring the city, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything. And if you're interested in having me personally show you around when you come, head on over to my website, triphacksdc.com, afterwards to see the tours that I offer. In this video, I'm going to answer 4 questions about Metro that you have asked me since I posted my original How to Ride Metro video. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure to click over afterwards to see my 10 do's and don'ts for riding on the Metro. And if you have any more questions about Metro that I haven't yet answered, leave a comment on this video so that I can save them for the next Metro Q&A. With all of that said, let's get started. Question number 1. How do Metro fares work, and how do I know how much I'm going to pay? It seems like a really confusing payment system. Okay, so the basic answer to this question is, what you pay depends on how far you travel and whether it's peak time or not. The longer the distance, the higher the fare. Peak period roughly coincides with rush hour. It's from 5:30 to 9:30 in the morning and 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the afternoon every weekday. And it's worth noting that this applies to when you tap into the system, not when you tap out. This is often why you'll see people standing around at, say, 6:55 in the afternoon. They know that if they wait another 5 minutes, they can save some money. To help you understand this a little bit more clearly, I made a visualization that hopefully sheds some light on it. Say you're starting at Metro Center during an off-peak hour and riding the Silver Line towards Virginia. If you ride one stop to McPherson Square, you'll pay the minimum fare, $2. In fact, you can ride as far as Roslyn and still only pay the minimum fare. Then, the fare starts increasing. $2.10 for Courthouse, $2.25 for Clarendon, and it keeps going up until you hit the maximum fare of $3.85 at McLean. And then you pay that for the rest of the way. So you can go all the way to the end of the line for $3.85. But of course, that's only during off-peak hours. If you ride during peak hours, then the price goes up across the board, as high as $6 if you ride all the way to Wiley. It's a good idea to avoid peak hours if you can, but I also understand that they make up about 40% of a total weekday, so it's not always completely reasonable to avoid them entirely. Question number 2 is, should I buy a 1-day or 7-day Metro pass? Wouldn't it be cheaper than paying every time I ride? In my How to Ride Metro video, I suggested not buying a pass, but I never really explained why. For a typical tourist, your options are a 1-day pass for $14.75, a 7-day unlimited pass for $60, and a 7-day short ride pass for $38.50. which only covers you for rides of up to $3.85 each, which is basically all non-peak fares and short peak fares. So unfortunately, there's no universal answer to this question, and you need to evaluate your own situation. Figure out how many days you're going to be spending in DC, and how often you're going to be planning on riding Metro. The 1-day pass is almost never a good deal for anybody, but the 7-day pass could be a good deal if you're going to spend a decent amount of time in town and you're going to be riding the Metro at least twice every day. Otherwise, it's just easier to pay per ride and top up your SmarTrip card as you need to. Question number 3 is, should I order my SmarTrip card online before my trip? The answer to this one is no, with a few exceptions that I will get into in a moment. In the past, you could only buy SmarTrip cards at a limited number of Metro stations, from a limited number of vending machines, or you had to go to a place like CVS or another retail store to get one. It was a real pain. Now, you can get a SmarTrip card at any Metro station, so the transactional pain is mostly gone. If you buy a SmarTrip card online, you have to order it far enough in advance to make sure that you receive it before you leave for your trip. But if you buy it too far in advance and then forget that you have it and don't pack it, then you basically just bought an expensive souvenir. I said there were a few exceptions. The first is if you want a commemorative SmarTrip card, then you should buy it online. They have these, for example, for the inauguration every 4 years, when a new museum opens, and I have my favorite, Washington National's commemorative SmarTrip. The other exception is if you want to use it to ride the bus, but don't really think you're going to be riding the Metro. So for example, if you want to ride the Metro bus from Dulles Airport or BWI, and you don't want to mess around with cash, then yeah, you could order your SmarTrip online and have it loaded up and ready to go. Question number 4. How do I know which side of the station to stand on to catch my train? I'll admit that this is actually a harder question to answer than it really should be, because there's no hard and fast rule. What you need to know is that every Metro line terminates at a station. For example, on the Green Line, it terminates at either Greenbelt or at Branch Avenue. So if you're at Gallery Place and you want to ride to Southwest Waterfront, you need to get on the train that's on the Branch Avenue side. Now, if everything's running normally, when the train pulls in, it will clearly say on the front, Branch Avenue. Problem with that is that Metro is always under construction, and sometimes stations are closed. So for example, a train might pull in and say Naylor Road. That's the train you want, but how are you supposed to know that? What I suggest doing is looking at the sign that's in the station across from the tracks. It will say the station name, where you are, and the final destination. And since those aren't going to change, you'll always be able to reference it. But another problem is that not every station looks like this. So at some stations you have to reference a separate sign that references a list of stations where trains on that side of the platform are going. If you're in a station like DuPont Circle with side platforms, you need to check the signage on the mezzanine level to make sure that you're going down into the right place. And I know that this is still probably very confusing to a lot of people, so if all else fails, just ask somebody. As long as you didn't already upset everybody by standing on the left or committing some other Metro faux pas, people will be more than happy to help you. And that's it! Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, you can subscribe to this channel by clicking on the Trip Hacks DC logo, which is popping up right now at the bottom of the screen. And if you're coming to Washington, D.C. and you want to sign up for a private tour with me, you can click on the Capitol Dome on the left side of my head. That'll take you over to my website, triphacksdc.com, where you can see the tours that I offer. Enjoy your trip!